Hello, everyone. This is Callie Teegardin coming live out of Sugar Land, Texas tonight. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a great week. I am really excited to introduce you to this week's guest on our relationship marketing overview. I'm going to be chatting with Falina Selchert.
Yes.
Is that right? I know we talked about that, and then I'm like, So Falina Selchert out of Black Hills, South Dakota. Falina, that is somewhere I have not yet been.
You have to come visit. I literally live about 10 minutes from Mount Rushmore.
Wow. Yeah, that's on my list. I haven't seen it. I've heard it's absolutely beautiful.
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Well, we're going to be talking tonight about creating community and connection, and to tell everyone a little bit about you. So you were born and raised there in the Black Hills of South Dakota. You're married to your BFFL. I wasn't sure what that is, but it's best friend for life. I love that. You have 3 handsome sons. So you're a boy mom of 3, 9-year-old, 6-year-old, and 10 months. So that definitely has to keep your hands full.
Yes.
You are a take charge, enthusiastic challenger, and when you get your mindset on something, people better watch out because you get it done.
Yes.
You are a virtual assistant, and I think that'll be fun to talk about. What is a VA tonight, and why people use or need a VA, or maybe even when they're like on the line, what do they look for, and is it time to hire a virtual assistant? And you specialize in branding, social media management, bookkeeping, and payroll. You do several different professions, but you've done a lot in the real estate profession with your VA services. You also help families transition from using chemicals in their life to more natural routes, and you thrive on community connection and bettering your life, and love helping other people do the same.
Yes.
So I think that's a great way to start. So I was going to start about community connection. Let's start talking about exactly what is a virtual assistant and what do you really help people with?
Well, I got started as a virtual assistant because I like to do a lot of different things, and I was trying to figure out a profession that I was able to incorporate all the things I love to do and all the things that I'm good at, and to be able to help other people with that as well. So I love seeing other people succeed in their business. I love doing things with graphic design and social media and bookkeeping and payroll. So when I had found out something called a virtual assistant, I was like, that's something that I could actually do. So I decided to quit my job in corporate America, and I started my own business, and I did this all roughly 2 weeks postpartum.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's just been amazing. I have been able to help bridge that gap for people who are working on building their business. So a lot of people don't quite need to hire a full-time employee or even a part-time employee and have to worry about taxes and things. So that's where the virtual assistant comes in. Maybe they don't quite need to hire an accounting firm, or they're not large enough to be able to do that. So I can help them a little bit on their back end stuff there. Or maybe they just don't like to do social media, or they're just not very good at it. And that's where I can definitely just step in and help them in that aspect as well. Another thing is I like to help people connect with their customers. So I will do a lot of various things for them. I can either get in their messenger and be them and connect with their clients, or I can use things like SendOutCards, where I send cards to check in on them. I work with a lot of real estate agents, so we can send out anniversary cards for congratulations on your first year, or congratulations on your home's purchase, and different things like that. So I definitely just help other people be able to grow their business and help bridge the gap before they're ready to hire on like a full-time employee.
Right. So you just talked about social media and getting into their messenger. How do you make it that the person feels like it's them instead of someone else reaching out? Because I know one time on social media, I got a Facebook friend request. I message the lady back and they're like, oh, this is her PR firm that's responding. And I'm like, well, why am I going to friend this person? I don't want to talk to the PR. I want to talk to them. So is there a way to do it that it seems authentic and real, but also saves that business person, that real estate agent time?
Absolutely. I would say when I jump into someone's messenger for them, it's not my first month working with that client. I started out, especially like in the social media aspect of things, so that we make sure that I sound authentic to my client. I work with them for quite a while. So at the beginning of our working relationship, I will probably just create social media content for them and give it to them and let them type up what they want to type, or I can see in their messenger their conversations. And then it's just more of a gradual type thing. So 30 to 60 days later, that's when I can then take over and I can speak in their fluent language, basically. You know, like I'm from South Dakota, I have a realtor from Florida, so we speak in a lot of y'all and things like that. So that way, half the time, her clients don't know whether they're talking to her or me. So I'm able to really just keep it so that it's just authentic to them and their brand.
Right. And then, so as you're doing this and helping create their brand, I know you're big about creating community and connection. Why do you think that is so important in today's business world, especially during this pandemic and these, we're in a new world now.
We really are. And it's crazy to see how different it's been just in the last few months. So before, I was really big on community. I loved to just get together with people, go out for a glass of wine or meet for coffee or something like that, just so that you can stay in touch with people. Because I feel like a lot of people, and this may be getting a little personal, but I feel like a lot of people struggle behind the scenes and they don't want to ask for help. And so trying to connect with them just makes people know that you're there. And so before we were going out and getting together and stuff, and now we're having to do, pivot into Zoom calls and sending more cards and just touching base with people. And I'm one of those people that's really bad about staying in touch with people. So I actually have a list and I make sure that I just check in with those people. Social media with their algorithms and things, it's really hard to make sure that you're connecting with the people who are important to you. There's no way that one person can just stay in touch, just remember off the top of their head who they checked in with, who they haven't. So honestly, I keep a list of like my close friends and stuff like that. And I make sure that I'm checking in with them at least every couple weeks to a month, whether it's through Facebook Messenger or sending them a card or something like that.
And I think that's so important because you just talked about your close friends and we were also talking about business, that I think some people get really good at connecting in business, but they forget their friends, or they get really good in like the regular social and they kind of forget the follow up on business. So how do you balance both? And do you think it's important to balance both?
I really do think it's important. And honestly, I think it's really good to keep lists. I mean, that's how I keep myself sane. Like you had mentioned earlier, I'm a mom of 3 and it's really hard to not be a scatterbrain some days. So I literally do have lists, and that way I can go through and I can cross them off and I can reprint a new one every month and just make sure that I'm checking in with those people who are important to me. Because especially with COVID and everything going on right now, a lot of people are kind of backing off of social media because it's kind of a heavy place. So I want to make sure that even though I'm not seeing them show up in my feed, that I'm actually checking in with them on a personal level. And then I also need to keep my business flowing on a business level. So I really just like to keep those separate, keep 2 different lists. And I actually block out a little bit of time every day to be able to just connect with a few people from both sides of the list.
Yeah, I think that's so important because you talked about the algorithms, right? And we may post something and we think it's the best post, but so many people don't see it. And if we just go onto social media and expect our clients, our friends, our family to see what we post, there's so many times they don't. And how many times are we not seeing their stuff that if we don't go reach out, they may be going through something in life and we have no idea it's happening.
Yeah. And another like little fun tip for that, honestly, when I'm scrolling through my Facebook and maybe you'll see something like someone's dog had just passed away, and maybe right at that moment you can't hop on and do anything. I'll actually take a screenshot on my phone and then check that at the end of the day and say, I needed to send that card to Susie and let her know that I was thinking of her. Or, you know, maybe I don't have time for a whole conversation right now because I'm right in the middle of getting lunch ready or something, on a personal side. And so that way, then that reminds me later to be able to check in with them and just give them a good, heartfelt message, you know, if it's going to be done through like Facebook Messenger or text Messenger or something like that.
Right. And with how we can connect today through our mobile devices, through social media, we can have 5,000 friends on Facebook. Of course, we can't keep up with 5,000 people. So as you work your own network and build community and connection, and as you work with your clients to build community and connection, is there a target number that you work with them on of, let's really build a relationship with X number of people? Because there's only so many hours in the day, and really only so many true, authentic relationships that we can build, even though we all want more.
Oh, right. And especially like the busier you are as a professional, then you kind of have to like pull from this list and pull from this list. So sometimes you have to just let that balance and juggle it out, honestly. And I always ask people, I'm like, what is your time commitment for connection? And if I say, let's build a list of 100 people, and if their jaw just drops, I'm like, okay, let's try 50. Let's start with 25. And then maybe we add on 5 people to that every single month. And then we can start to build that as well. Because I feel like once people see that if you actually keep kind of a small list that you can follow up on, they realize that it really isn't that much of a time suck, because social media can really be a time suck. You know, you get on there to talk to 5 people, and all of a sudden 2 hours later, you're like, wow, I got nothing accomplished.
Right. Or you have all these other conversations coming in at the meantime, and you want to be nice and respond to everyone, and you're trying to reach out. I know that is one of my struggles of how to manage it all and how to not let the ball drop, but also to manage my time effectively, because if all I ever did was stay on social media, I wouldn't be able to get anything else done in my life.
Oh, exactly. And really, I always tell people just stop the scroll, because really scrolling through social media, it really does drag you in. You'll think you're only on there for 5 minutes, and then you look at the clock and you're like, well, there goes about an hour.
Yeah, as I mentioned, yeah, I was working on a presentation today, our upcoming Relationship Marketing Grand Summit, and I'm presenting one of the workshops, and literally turned my phone over, shut down all of my social media, shut down my email, shut down my text, because I was like, I need to take the next hour, an hour and a half to really focus on this presentation, start building my slides. And I knew if I got sucked into a conversation, there was going to be no way that I was going to get it all done.
You're absolutely right. And it's really difficult for like myself as a virtual assistant, because my business is on social media. But I do also have to schedule those power hours for when I need to maybe do some graphic design for a client, or maybe I'm doing their bookkeeping. I do the same thing. I literally will shut my Facebook off. Honestly, there are days where I have so much work to do, I will literally uninstall Messenger from my phone, because you can uninstall that and reinstall it as many times as you want. And I also tell clients too, I'm like, you know, don't be afraid on Sunday to just delete your Facebook, delete your Messenger. You can always reinstall it either late Sunday night or early Monday morning. And then you're not feeling that constant push pull, especially like me, I work from home. My kids are here and my nanny's upstairs with them usually. So it's hard to not have that guilt when something's happening, you know? So literally, I will just say, when it's family time, uninstall those programs from your phone. It literally only takes 30 seconds to put them back on there. And that way you're having more intentional time with your family when it's needed, and you're having more intentional time with your work when it's needed too.
I think that's so important. I haven't gone to that extreme, but I have turned off all my notifications on my phone, except if it's a text message.
Yeah.
And so like my family, close friends know that's the one. And I can still ignore text, but if you need me, right, that's the because I will. Things get buried in Messenger because there is so much. And having every single notification come up on our phone can just really become crazy.
Yeah, it literally puts you in a state of overwhelm. And then honestly, you're no good to your family or your business, because when you're in that state of overwhelm, you're too busy focusing on that instead of what you should be doing.
Right, exactly. So what are some tools you found um, that help you build community and connection in your business or when working with your clients and their connections?
Well, I really do use a lot of Facebook Messenger, and that way I can just really quickly send a quick note. I love using SendOutCards because it's so easy. I don't have to go to the store and pick out a card. I can just log in online, pick one out. Um, Prime example, right before we got on this call, I had someone give me a really great referral. So I hopped on there, I sent them a 2-pack of brownies and a card, and it was just done and over with. Whereas before, I'd have to go to the store and get a card, and then I'd have to go on Amazon and try to drop ship some other things. And so those are two really good tools that I use. Facebook Messenger is free. SendOutCards is literally a couple bucks to send a card to somebody. And that card can literally make the biggest difference, because I think it social media is so easy to come by nowadays that we've kind of almost lost that written connection and that more personal touch. So I feel like that's a really good balance between the two.
Yeah, I think that I agree with you because, these devices, we can send a text, an email, a Facebook message so quickly. And even if it's what we call that heartfelt message and we're pouring our heart, it gets buried. Where if you get a real card in the mail with a message and even like a photo of you in it saying thank you, right? It has a huge impact. This one's sitting in my drawer next to me, right? I'm not going to throw that away, where a message gets deleted or buried so fast because there's other messages coming in right on top of it.
Yeah. And then it also just kind of gives them that more, they're a little bit more at peace with whatever the message is, I feel like, because like you said, when you're on Facebook or something like that, you're almost in a state of overwhelm just trying to keep your head above water to get through your hour you need to be on social media. Whereas when you get something in the mail, you're like, oh, Susie thought about me, or you know what I mean? So there's just, I love having access to both, because sometimes I need that real quick, just want to say, hey, how are you? But then sometimes I really just want to sit down and really connect with people. So I feel like they both work really well.
Right. I think that's so important. And it is. I've always learned, meet people where they're at. So if they're on Messenger, meet them there. If they're on text, meet them there. If they're email, right? Figure out what that language that they respond best in is
Yes.
so important. But then being able to use that tangible touch just to enhance the relationship even more. Because no matter which method they prefer, everyone loves getting a card in the mail.
Right, exactly.
So
Anything but a bill is great, isn't it?
exactly. And speaking of cards, let me go show everyone how simple it is to send a card on the SendOutCard system. And then when I'm done, Falina, we'll come back and chat a little bit more. So I'm going to pull up my screen here, and I'm going to pull right up to my app. And when I got started using SendOutCards, I was looking for a simple way to stay in touch with my clients, birthday thank you and holiday cards. I was full-time corporate America at the time, started a business on the side, and so I only had a few hours to work it a week, but needed a simple way to stay in touch. Writing out thank you notes, as you said, it's not easy, it's time consuming. So I ended up hiring my neighbor's mom to write out all my birthday and thank you cards, which I know you can appreciate. Though a couple months in, one of my girlfriends called me up and said, she was my client too, she's like, hey, that's not your handwriting in the birthday card. And so a good gesture had gone wrong, and I was looking for something. And when I found SendOutCards, I knew it was the answer to my prayers, because I can literally go in here, send a card. I can have an admin send a card, but it's all in my own handwriting and signature. So we have all kinds of cards: birthday, thank you, holiday, just because, or what I love, you can build your own. And so I'm going to create our 2-panel greeting card. I'm going to come in here into my photos and go in, and that will look familiar. And so I love that picture of you. Absolutely gorgeous. And so I'm going to put that on the front of the card. And when you send someone a card with their picture on it, and they posted it on social media, they're going to save it because they like it if they posted it. And we don't print our pictures anymore.
No.
No, not at all. And so I'm going to swipe to the left. It's going to take me to the inside left. I can add more photos. I can add a message, or I can leave it blank. I'm going to go to the inside right. This is where I like to put my message. So I can come in here and great, it spelled your name right. And I can just say, I can type, or I can voice text it in. It was really great connecting with you, period. Thank you so much for taking time away from your family to chat with me on my weekly webinar, period. All the best to you, period. Have a great day. New line, new line. Thank you again. And then, so here's the message, right? I can come in and pick my font. And I mentioned like my own handwriting and signature. You'll see all these SendOutCards font, but I'm going to scroll down to my personal font and select it. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to add my signature. I like to do it in blue. It's a little big, so I can just make it smaller. I'm going to add a space as well. And so there's the message, right? In my handwriting, very simple, done. And then on the back, I can brand myself and or my business. Right now I'm branding our Relationship Marketing Grand Summit that's coming up. If you have interest in this event, you're looking to build your business through this concept of relationship marketing, get back with the person who invited you onto this webinar or shared this Facebook Live with you. They can help get you more information, or you can go to rmgs2020.com. And so, Falina, now I'm ready to send my card. So I just hit the little paper airplane. You had mentioned our gifts, so I can come in here and I can send a card with a gift, or I can send a card only. I can come into my contacts. I'm going to select you. I added you earlier today, but I could import you in. I could add you as a new contact. So there you are. I hit done and I scroll down. I hit continue, and you guys will see my card is free, including the card and the stamp. It's based on the monthly subscription that I'm on. I have unlimited heartfelt prompting cards. What's a heartfelt prompting card? It's a card that's a unique card that I send only to one individual. Our system also allows us to do system cards. So if I wanted to send out a card to an entire group of people, I wanted to create a drip campaign, I wanted to schedule cards, you can do that. So if you're interested in this and not sure what's best for you, again, get back with that person who invited you onto this webinar, share this Facebook Live with you, and they can help you determine what's best for your needs. So I hit submit. I am done. SendOutCards will now print, stuff, stamp, and mail this card for me, and it will go out the next business day. So Falina, when you first saw this, were you blown away like I was?
Yes, because I can even show you in my closet, I have literally like 1,000 cards that are just blank that I was handwriting. And there were times, because I am also part of a network marketing company and I have a large team with that outside of SendOutCards, and I was literally writing 30 of those every week or two.
Wow.
And my hand was just, my hand would get so tired, and I have horrible handwriting when I start writing a lot. My first 5 cards always looked great, but then anything after that was horrible. So this has just literally been a godsend. It saves me so much time, just being able to hop in there, and like you did the voice text, that's so much easier because then you're not even sitting there typing. It's seriously the biggest time saver. And that was the best thing for me. Like, even if it costs double what I was paying before, it would have been worth it, even though it doesn't. It's actually cheaper than if you were to go to the store and get a card.
Right,
But,
that's
yeah.
why I was blown away when I started. I was in network marketing, and I was like, I need the simple way, and now I can do it. And back then we didn't have the app, which we do now. So, you have kids, if you're waiting to pick one of them up, you've got a few minutes, you can literally go in and send a card right from your smartphone.
Yeah, it does. It makes it so much easier. And like for me, having to go get a card, that was literally packing 3 kids in the car, driving across town, getting a card, or else having to purchase a whole bunch in advance and then hoping you had the right one for the right occasion when you got home. Yeah, it was a mess.
It was crazy. Well, we're about out of time here. So is there any last thing that you want to share about how using the send out card system has made a difference for you in your life?
Honestly, the biggest thing for me was the time saving for me personally. Now, for my clients, one thing that we use SendOutCards for that is a huge, huge time saver for them and takes a lot of stress off of their plate is we do farming campaigns. So I don't know if anyone's familiar with that, but what that basically is, in the field of real estate, we go to the property appraiser's website and we will pull hundreds of addresses. And then I can basically plug those into the Excel spreadsheet, upload them into SendOutCards, and then I personally design my own cards for my clients, and then I upload that image just like you did. And then I can go ahead and send out one card to 200, 500 people in probably less than an hour.
Yeah,
And
amazing.
so that for my clients, that is huge.
That is huge. And yeah, for a busy real estate agent, being able to connect with that many people and to be able to farm a neighborhood is huge opportunity. So Falina,
Yeah.
thanks so much for being on tonight, for sharing your story, for sharing about being a virtual assistant and why someone would be interested in being a virtual assistant. Also about, different tools through social media and also using send out cards in business to grow community and connection. For those of you that are watching this, feel free to reach out to either of us if you have questions. And if someone invited you to watch this because of the send out card site, please get back with them. If you've got questions, they can get those questions answered for you and help get you started. So thanks everyone. Good night. Bye now.
Thank you.